Hey guys, I want to make a new video going over this Strongbox farm. This Strongbox farm is pretty interesting. It's essentially just an extremely fast maps per hour strat. You want to be doing something like 40 maps an hour. So originally, I found Spicy Sushi doing this strategy, and I thought it was quite interesting. Well, I'm not that big on boxes nowadays. I do like sharing strats when I find them. And I thought it was a pretty good strategy for those that like, fast maps, low investment, and pretty good returns. So what is this strategy? So essentially, it is just boxes. We're using triple ambush scarab, ambush potency, and ambush discernment. We'll also do this on the haunted mansion map, which I'll show you and go over why you do it on this map. Okay, I wrote down everything to know about it right here. So you want to run 8 mod haunted mansion maps. This is the ideal setup because how the map spawns, all the boxes spawn together, makes it extremely efficient for this strategy. You're looking to do maps in like 90 seconds or less here. You rush the big box clump / balls and leave the area. You never full clear. It's not worth it. Also, the anomalies in the top right are very, very strong. Always see them when they appear. You have both the Lake of Calandra anomaly, which can give you a reflective miss and it takes like 5 seconds to do. And you have the Harvest anomaly as well, which can drop you like multiple worth of divines of not juice, but the coin, the rancor that it can drop. Very, very good, and you should always do it. And you spawn a lot of anomalies per hour because you're doing so many maps per hour. Yeah, keep in mind, like I said, this is a heavy map per hour strat. You're doing maps constantly. Ideally, you're doing one map within 90 seconds or less. If you're a very, very fast build and fast player, you could definitely do like 50 maps an hour. And of course, that is going to vastly change how much profit you make an hour. Also keep in mind, if you are a caster, you can also spec into caster mastery on your skill tree. This is so you can open boxes instantly. If you're not a caster, if you're attack-based build, you can always use Unearth with faster casting. And as long as you take that caster mastery, you can still cast a lot of spells per second. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's this thing right here. On the caster mastery, there's a 25% chance to open a nearby chest when you cast a spell. It's just very, very good for the strat because there's multiple boxes next to each other. Yeah, if you played Mirage League, this is pretty much the exact same setup we did last league, but there's no Mirage. And it's still good profit just because you're doing so many maps an hour, and strats this league aren't all that much high, profit per hour. So here's one test I did. This was a 30 map test. This is before cost, of course, but cost is not that high, which I'll go over in a second. Yeah, I made 13 divines and 157 chaos in 25 minutes within 20 maps. So overall, pretty good, right? You're getting over half a divine per map. And if you're doing a map in like 90 seconds, that is over a pretty good profit an hour. So I can see with current costs, we're looking at, 3 ambush scarabs, 1 potency, 1 discernment, and 1 tier 16/8 mod, 23 chaos per map. So overall, not that bad, which means this right here will roughly cost you 3 divines, which means I made roughly 10 divines and 157 chaos in 20 maps, which would put this strat over 20 divines an hour without any, big jackpot drops, which you can get in this strategy because you are doing boxes, and boxes can drop very high value divination cards. As you can see here, the best divination card I got was 2 fortunates, and that is it. Also scry divination card on here as well. But you can get, you could get doctors, you could do apothecaries, whatever have you, right? You do get these high jackpot divination drops. I want to say pretty often, but at a decent rate. You do see it every now and then, and that will bump the dividend hour up a lot. As for the Atlas tree, there's 2 main Atlas trees you can use here. So you can use this pure scarab Atlas tree, just drop a little more scarabs, or you drop a bunch of these scarab nodes and instead spec into beyond. I think it kind of depends on what type of build you're playing. If you're built with not a lot of good clear speed or AoE, then doing Beyond is not going to be very viable for you. It'll take up too much time. If you're like a pro lift build, like Righteous Fire Chieftain, for example, I think Beyond can add a lot of value because you're instantly killing the Beyond monsters as they spawn, and they're not really taking up any of your time. But yeah, you can do either or. You can take all the Beyond nodes. Essentially, you'll take this wheel right here, this wheel right here, and this wheel over here, and then take the more currency ones right here. And that's the Beyond stuff you'll do, and you'll just take out all these small 3% scarab nodes. Or you do this setup, which is all those increased scarab nodes to try to make as fast as possible. I'll have this Atlas link down below, of course, but yeah, it's just a very simple setup. You just take all the box nodes and scarab nodes. You can also use your Astrolabe if you want. If you do use Astrolabes, Templar, or Delirium, you would have to take this synthesized ability as well. I don't think the top right vault is too good, but you definitely can do it if you want to. So what is this strat? I can just showcase you real quick. So using 3 ambush scarabs, 1 potency, and 1 discernment with an 8 mod map. These are like 3C each, very, very easy to buy in bulk. Then of course, you just go inside the map, and essentially you look for 2 things. 1, you're looking for the boss room. 2nd, you are looking for the clump of boxes. There's one area in Haunted Mansion that always has a big clump of boxes, like 8 to 10 boxes. So I like going down the middle, and usually you go down the middle, you can just find the area. See right here, this is the big clump of boxes. So you open every single box. Once again, caster mastery does help quite a bit for this. Open all these boxes. You can loot as you go, loot after. It doesn't matter too much. You just want to do it very, very fast, right? That's the whole strat. Usually for altars, I just pick the mini rewards because the basic currency dupe and div dupe and scarab dupe don't work on boxes. So yeah, usually mini rewards are the way to go. The quant one is nice though, and the quant one can work on boxes. But yeah. So you pick up all the loot. You know, you want to do it really, really fast as you can. Map per hour shot, like I said. And my casting measure also helps quite a bit. You get a lot of scarabs, div cards, and just raw currency for this. And then after this, right, you'll find the big clump of boxes or the boss, and then you find the opposite one. So now we need the boss room. You want to do the boss room because the boss is what spawns anomalies, and the boss room usually always has anywhere from 1 to 3 boxes guaranteed. So there's the boss room. It's always the red door. It's always going to have boxes as well. So this time it has 2 boxes. So yeah, that is what you want to do. You find a big clump of boxes and find a boss, and then you leave the map and you don't care for anything else. And like I said, ideally you want to do these maps in less than 90 seconds. Just keep going. Yeah, that's the entire strategy. I thought it was a pretty cool strategy just to share on YouTube because, you know, it's very low investment, high maps an hour, and also very easy difficulty. So like a 5 or 10 divine build can easily do this at pretty high efficiency, as long as your character is, you know, pretty fast, right? Like I said, stuff like an RF character, wind orb character, that can also use casting mastery are very, very good for the strategy. Yeah, that's about it.